How you doing, Just?
Hey Tyler, how you doing?
Can't complain. I'm doing well.
Cool, cool. Good to see you. You're looking good. I had a lesson from you a year and a half ago. Long time.
Say that one more time.
Oh, one sec, one sec. I'm gonna move a little bit to another place.
Good morning, Jamu. How are you today?
No, Tyler, I had some lessons from you like a year and a half ago at the beginning of my the journey of my automation journey.
How's that
So
been?
cool, man. Cool. Yeah. I started well, the voice AI company based aimed on installation niche in my country, and it's going well. We got about 20 paying clients on subscription contracts so far, and going pretty well. So, how are you?
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Congratulations on that.
Thank
I'm
you,
doing
bro.
well. I can't complain. Just the same old. Just trying to share information with people and help them build stuff.
Right. Nice. How is your dog?
My dog.
Yeah.
I don't. Since the last time we talked, my dog actually had another dog, so I have two dogs now. But they're fine.
Really?
They're in the backyard, probably messing stuff up right now. Gotta go actually feed them after this workshop.
Nice, man. Nice. Cool.
Yeah, so more people will probably join, and I kind of just say this kind of as a reminder, like this is all recorded, because this will be up on YouTube, and if I speak kind of in a weird tone, it's because other people are gonna watch this, and this is gonna be recorded. Um, I am doing basically a 30 days of building with Claude Code, and it has to do with projects that I've used myself, platforms I use myself, things I've built for clients, or things that I'm also exploring as well. It's really just kind of a hands-on approach. I'm in a lot of places where a lot of people pay for Claude, and they're not using Claude Code, but they see all these videos about Claude Code, and it's really more just a, hey, help you get set up with Claude Code. And if you want to participate in whatever the topic is on that day to get you to be hands-on, and that's kind of like the main goal. But of course, you don't have to for whatever reason. Maybe you didn't buy Claude Code yet. Maybe you just want to actually watch and not participate. It's all up to you. But just to give a little premise on these workshops.
Awesome, man. Nice.
Um,
Is this the first day of the 30 days? Because
no,
I just
this
saw it in
is
LinkedIn. So
this is day 7.
day
I know
seven.
this is day
Oh,
8 actually.
okay.
Yeah, I started February 2nd.
Ah, I see.
Hmm. Yeah, I at the end or before you go, just let me know and then I can put the YouTube in the chat and then like the rest are on my YouTube channel if
Oh,
you want to watch
awesome, bro.
those.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool, man.
So to get started, and then also like feel free to there's a react button at the bottom, or you could type in the chat like if you have a question about anything that I'm saying or if I'm going too fast or doing anything like that.
All right,
But
definitely.
today is about a platform called Remotion that is becoming quite popular, and it's basically uh, motion graphics. I think that's like the best way to kind of describe. I think that's exactly what it is, but the best way to describe it. So, as an example, I believe this was probably built with Remotion here, and I've been playing around with it a little bit. I don't have anything super crazy. I'll actually show what kind of ideas that I have and been playing around with, and there are some others. I think it's a real cool platform, and the reason I'm looking into it is because they actually they have like a free license where you can just use it. Hey Philip, how you doing? Just talking about Remotion before I kind of dive in. So if I'm right, I think this platform has been out, or this code or whatever it is has been out for a while. But of course, you have to know React and know all these other things in order to use this, right? So now we have AI, and they've done some like making some Claude skills and some other things to basically be able to have Claude Code do this through the API that they also have, which is something I haven't touched on in like all these videos is a lot of these platforms when you're vibe coding, like I was talking about, shad CN and components and stuff like that. And those also have APIs, been like super technical and stuff like that. But that's how Remotion is. And like, for example, if I come to their API, there's a whole group of stuff here, which even for someone like me, this API is a little different from like a coding perspective, from like a normal curl request or HTTP. Hey, what's up, Adam? How you doing?
Good. How you
Uh,
doing?
Good. Normal like HTTP requests and stuff like that, but I do want to note that out. Like whenever you're vibe coding, like all of these things do have an API. And basically, with like the Claude skills I think they've made, it's basically like taking all this information from the documentation and putting it inside of there. But the reason I thought Remotion was interesting is because going back to like their homepage, you can use it for free, and I'm not sure 100% what are like the limitations, but they do have like a license that doesn't have those limitations. And I actually have a platform that I've been building for just like some friends that stream on Twitch and do content and stuff like this. And this would actually be like an amazing tool to actually have inside of there. To be even more technical, they have an editor starter that they just built. So this goes back into other videos that are kind of the point that I drive is like you don't have to build from scratch. Now, a lot of the things that I've shown have been like from a free perspective, but there's also a paid perspective as well, right? So they have like this starter. mm, Let me actually click on it because I've been here before. So you can actually test this. And this is like a whole editor for doing video, right? So if you have a platform where, people need to edit content and do a plethora of things, you would need to literally build all of those things, right? They already have one build, which is kind of like really interesting to me. And that's kind of what I look for when I do look into buying things like this and stuff. They have a whole documentation. Of course, they have a Discord community. You could join and ask questions. Just kind of very cool stuff. That's with the pro here, and they all do it under a company license. They have three of them here: editor starter, animated, captions, and cube transition. And also, I know like I could be wrong. I think they use FFmpeg under the hood, but like the way they use it is I don't want to say very different. I'm not sure because I have to look into it again. But I remember when I was kind of just like doing my own research and like looking into some docs and some other stuff because I would assume they were using FFmpeg to do some stuff. It had it there slightly, but it talked about why they wouldn't like fully use FFmpeg. I don't remember if it was because of some limitations or stuff, and I don't get too technical, but yeah. So I think what I want to plan to do because Remotion is like, how you doing, Jeff? Very straightforward and simple. What happens if I clicked on this prompted video? Let's see really quick. Oh yeah, it'll just take me to do what I have to do anyway. So we're gonna open up VS Code, right? And I'm actually gonna go if you were here from the other videos, probably the first day, you can go into the content folder. I'm actually going to go to my website because that's what I've been personally working on and wanting to make some assets for. So, trust this and really quick before I start, Claude, just to go to my current website right now. That hurt. Okay. So I do need to check my background. I'm probably gonna update my website today because I've been kind of lazy. But I have a very simple, straightforward website. It's a one-page website that's dynamic. It will show different information based on what you click here. Very simple. Now, I do like my like animations I have here, I guess like these demo. videos, things or whatever. I also have them down here too with like different things, and they actually like if I was to click on execute, this is like actually works and stuff like that. This is I don't want to say I would replace this, but this would be like a good that's like not the example I wanted to go to. I want to go to this one. Like I'm just showing like things happening. I think this would be like an equivalent to doing that. Or even if it was not something like that, you have like stuff like this, but actually it would be continuous. Things like this are very simple. And I think you can even use this inside of Remotion. I'm not sure. We'll try it out. This is like something that I've known about Lottie files for years, Jesus, but there's many websites like this where they just have like hundreds of assets that you can use to put on a website that make it really easy. Just to like give some context and stuff here. So website is very simple. I'm gonna use my website, or I have been using my website to test out and build some things, which I'll show, and then I'm gonna try to make that a little bit better into something I want, and that'll be kind of what I'll be using today. Of course, if that content folder is another good one to use. So make sure I'm not missing anything. Chat. Oh, all right. So we're gonna start up our Claude Code. Now I've already done some of these things, but what I am gonna do really quick is these two pages are important right here. Oh, so I'll get into the HeyGen one in a minute because that would be extra. But Remotion has this page to easily install a Remotion skill on Claude. So what I did was I literally just took that page and I gave it to Claude, and then I have that as a skill now. Um, and if you want, like, I think that will give it enough information. If let's just say you don't want to use content or don't use the want to like have a website that you want to use as an example, it'll just like make a new project and you can make something up maybe. I don't know if that's a good way of explaining that, but yeah. And then also just to talk about HeyGen, what I do plan to do, even though HeyGen for some reason is telling me I don't have any credits on my free trial, which I do, is I want to actually combine a Remotion video that's made and then have a HeyGen video avatar there, like explaining it. And there's actual people who've already done this. This is where I got the idea from. I thought it'd be really cool, but for some reason, HeyGen is being really weird. So hopefully we'll get past that just to give context. So I started this up, and when you run that, so first off, let's do this. Skills. I had a couple of skills here, but I'm trying to go down right. We can't go down, but HeyGen, Remotion skill, right? So I have those added there. And then also in this, if you do slash, is it usage or is it's context? I don't know why I'm forgetting that. When you go to context, I talked about this before. I have like a whole bunch of kind of like small configurations. And like in this project, Claude, before I added Remotion and did all this, it has like its own documentation on like how to add new components, how to build a new page, how to do like a plethora of things there as well. So I put in that URL, it downloaded this skill, downloaded the HeyGen skill, and then it looked through some of the documentation for Remotion, and then it made this folder here. So you'll see this folder called Remotion, and it'll make a couple of files. I think these other folders are like assets and stuff that it's trying to grab. But I just want to give a little context there. So in plan mode, I'll say, hey, I want to continue to improve what I was creating with Remotion. Can you start up the server so the editor can be pulled up and I can go from there? I don't even think I needed to be in plan mode to do that. We'll take that off hopefully really fast. Actually, pull this up a little bit. Oh, and actually another thing, you can add voice to it as well. So I'll probably try to use, no, I can't use any. Well, yeah, I cheat. I'm just going to use the AI Vercel SDK and then just use a different voice provider through that. So this is going to run a command to start up like this editor that pops up because obviously you're doing all of this locally. This is not like on a cloud platform. And I already have some things kind of created here that I've been working on in terms of like playing around with Remotion and stuff. And maybe like a brand folder, maybe an explanation folder. This avatar folder was supposed to be for HeyGen. I haven't fully tested that yet. And then it made like this little social stuff. And just to go through like what it created so far. Obviously, like none of this is perfect or anything, but I just went through my website. What I think is actually like really interesting is it took the actual like design part, the background of my website of the grid and like the little pulsating things in the background, which is interesting because I've seen other videos where they start a project that's not like the website. So this is like my actual website that I've deployed to Vercel where some of these assets are, which I like kind of understand why it would be doing that. But in terms of like when they ask Claude to go do it by itself and it pulls in stuff, I'm not sure how it's able to get some of that sometimes, but I've seen it be pretty accurate. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I wasn't able to load that for some reason.
This right here, like
The Remotion,
the
that
editor.
yeah. Am I supposed to do it in the terminal or in the VS?
You can have Claude run it and it'll do it by itself. That's what I had to do. But let's just say sometimes when you have Claude try to run commands like that, it'll mess up. Yes, you would just open up your terminal,
Yeah.
the plus right here, and then you can just run it by itself and then it will open. And that command is can't remember by heart. I think it's npx re yeah, it's remotion. No, it's not that. It's I can just ask it. What is the command again to run this? I know it's like remotion slash something, but I just don't remember. Yeah, there you go. Preview. So this will pull up this editor. And it's so funny because I think it made it worse than what it was before for some reason that I coded something. Oh, no, no. I see. It fixed what I wanted to at the time, but it messed up what was before. Like this stuff right here, which kind of makes sense. Just going through some of it. I'm thinking real quick of what I want to change and how I want it to. Because I think what's interesting is like with these, you have to be so I think Claude, oh, that's actually like really good with that stuff in the background. Claude Code, Claude Code in Chrome, which is like a Chrome MCP that clicks and does stuff. Usually I would have that look at this, which would like work perfectly well, but for some reason that has not been working. So you definitely have to be like super specific in what's not happening on these that you want it to happen and follow. So like as an example for me, actually, I really want to work on this explainer video of my educate, consult, and build kind of philosophy that I go by. So I would come back here, right? Put this in plan mode. I want to work on my educational videos in Remotion. They're really good, but the problem is that the text is not really aligned. It seems to not really show all of the information. And when it comes to fading in and out, it's just not happening the way that it's supposed to. And let's see what else. And you know what? While I'm thinking of something, let's just see if 11 Labs will like me today. They said that they were giving out 1,000 free tokens. How did I get to? Oh. Oh, because I'm the wrong thing. Let's see. Mhm. 1,000. I should say 1,000. Why do you wait, huh? Oh, so this doesn't say up top. I hate people who change up their UIs all the time. It's so irritating. So I can't click this anymore to see how many credits I actually have. You guys really took that away? That doesn't make any sense. We literally were able to maybe let's see. No, because I yeah, so I know I don't have any because okay. Well, maybe I'll come back to that. Maybe I'll come back. I wanted to generate some music or some sounds or do something, but it's not that important. And then I want to say, I'm just still looking through this for what I want to say. Also, make sure that we are using the Claude Code Remotion skill. Make sure that we're not trying to create all of the assets at once, but well, one at a time. And if there's any information you want to try to do a web search on, we can try to look at that as well, as there may be more helpful information on this. Feel free to make an individual agent for each task as well. All right, so we're gonna get one long big plan mode, and we're gonna use that output for the rest of this, and I'm not gonna be in plan mode. Um, I'm trying to think really quick. What I like to do whenever I'm playing around with stuff, coming back to here, it's just looking at different things. Oh, so here we go right here. Already something right here. And this is interesting because I wonder in the skills which I already have, does this go to a repo? No, it doesn't. It just goes to the actual thing for that. What is tooling? Okay, I'll go to that. And oh, they have spline here. It's interesting. So I'll copy that, put that in there. That's not going to mess up anything. I have Docker on my system. I already have dev containers installed. What is it? Oh no, I'm on VS Code. That's why I was asking me that. Makes sense. No, 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 no. I don't want to do none of that. I don't want to do none of that. That's fine. Let's not get distracted with that. It's not needed. If I have Docker, you can just run whatever you need to. So this is looking for, can I press yes? Please. Oh yeah, sometimes agents, and this is probably going to be an update, agents seem to like freeze your terminal for a little bit. So if it seems like something's not going on, it still is, but it needs to take like a little bit of time to catch up. Which I don't know why I should have just told it to just run by itself and not do that if that was going to be the case. I'd slip my mind because I do it so often. So, okay, I have to wait until my terminal likes me for a little bit. Sometimes when I switch back and forth, it'll come back to me. Okay, I'm gonna leave and then come back and then it will be there. That's funny. I just want to add this system prompt. That's it, and put that inside of there, and then the MCP. And the reason I don't want to add the MCP because it just takes up context. Um, and I don't think it's worth. Yeah, and then this right here too. That's actually the real reason I didn't add it because if a whole group of people are going to use it, which I'm pretty sure they are, because most people like using MCPs regardless of the fact that it takes up context, I don't want it to not work because it's just getting rate limited. So as you see, this is like coming back now. So I can paste that inside of there and it should use that. So if this feels like it's a little slow, it's just because I have these agents in here, and sometimes they make like it's like just delayed a little bit. Prompt to motion graphic SAS starter kit. Oh, well, just look at that. This is why it's. I promise you guys, when you go to the documentation of stuff, you'll just be surprised. Out of all the stuff I just said with that whole other uh template library that they had of the editor, I didn't even know they had a whole starter kit for this, which is great. And there's a live demo. Oh, look at that. A whole talking interface just to start talking and make motion graphics. You want to put that in the chat for you guys? That's one right there. That's actually a good one. I'm gonna star that myself. I don't know why that doesn't have many more stars. And what is this? Is this just... Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, that's cool. So I was looking at that. What is just-in-time complication? If you've generated a Remotion component, adding Remotion APIs, just React won't be enough. You need animations. So I would assume the stuff in the skills has all of this stuff here. Oh, and look at what I've talked about this whole time and talked about earlier. Guess where Remotion can be used with? The Vercel AI SDK. It's made it too easy. And I actually have added the AI SDK to my website because just to give like a little in depth, so just to give a little context, I all of these things when you're like vibe coding and stuff, I talk about not building from scratch. And I talked about an AI gateway. And an AI gateway is something that literally gives you access to a plethora of other AI models, whether it's like the large language model, voice models, text to image, all those other things. So my actual entire goal for my website, because I build a lot and people ask me for demos of things that I build back to back, I actually have a playground I don't think I can go to. So when people actually sign up on a calendar and book through many different ways, they actually get emailed and directed to a playground. Why is this acting like it doesn't want to load or it's taking forever to load? Playground signs them in with Google. This is using the AI SDK and some other things. Whole reason it's connecting to Google is because it's actually going to connect to basically their Google Workspace. And then it brings up two different demo environments for a chat agent that will pull in information from like basically whatever you have in Google, and then a voice and for a voice demo that will do the same thing and pull that information, even though the voice demo is not based on that. I like to give context because I say a lot of things that might leave uh, people a little bit lost. So coming back here, that's cool that this is here. So I need to copy this page. Mind you, all of this is still in plan mode and it asked me some questions. Which three explainer videos? So all three scene issues, all of them. Fade issues. For the fade in and out, are scenes disappearing abruptly without smooth transitions? Then go to transition cuts. We're gonna submit those answers. And then I'm actually gonna put this as well. I believe we're using the AI Vercel SDK. It looks like we can use Remotion through that as well. I would like to add that, which is cool because once again, this is literally my website where I deploy this live to Vercel. So in my website, when I want to go work on updates and I want to make motion graphics, and think of it just for anything that you kind of deploy, right? You can install the AI Vercel SDK, Vercel AI SDK. Let me start saying it the proper way. Have Remotion in there, and then now it's just generating and generating with multiple things, right? I talked about earlier using 11 labs, right? I don't even have to go to 11 labs. It's actually funny. And actually, I might have to do that because I can just cheat even without my 11 Labs key, possibly, and still use a voice provider because I have credits in my AI gateway. Doesn't really matter. Um, how are you guys in here? I don't even know. Is that Vercel's model? What the hell is that? Maybe 11 Labs not in here. Let me think really quick. I mean, it doesn't matter. I could use Google Voice if I wanted to. I don't even have to use 11 Labs. But it is good to know if they were in here because I don't, why wouldn't they be in here? I'm just doing quick verification on my own end, right? So we go to here, 11 Labs themselves. And then once again, I should have known it's just the 11 Labs things right there, or just a quick verification. There we go. Now, yes, I'm gonna cheat and then try to do that and not have to you. But what is the name inside of here? Why can't I search 11 Labs in here? That's irrelevant, but oh, don't tell me you froze on me, buddy. You just gotta I'm just checking in. Are you good? I don't see any response or anything. So you gotta be tricky sometimes. Like I said, sometimes this will not be moving or this will not be counting or going up, and it still will be working in the background. Okay, no, I think sorry. I don't even think my last response went. I think it's maybe because Whisper Flow is being weird. Oh yeah, no, it's doing this thing. So let's close that really quick. Oh, now it wants to come back when I want to try to close it. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I could just delete this. And then just let it. All right, so you want to add AI-powered Remotion code generating using the Vercel AI SDK you already have. Let me explore your existing AI setup. And I think I actually already have, yeah, my AI Gateway API key is already there, so I'm all good. Oh, and I actually want to add 11 Labs to generate maybe like sound or audio or voices through the Vercel AI SDK as well. Let it do that. Actually come back here for this. Copy this page. That should be all I need. Said that, paste that, add that to that. I don't like the way it does that anymore like that. It makes it look like it's not doing anything. Did I press that? Oh, okay, yeah, it's just doing this. So maybe it's catching up now. Yeah, whenever it like goes all the way up, that like I said before, it means it's working. Just don't be surprised if this isn't moving sometimes or stuff. Just give it some time. But kind of recapping, I already had the skills plugged in, but just doing some more looking through the documentation with you guys, found out they got a starter repo, which is cool. Also, I found out, right, since I talked about the AI Vercel SDK that you can put in any of your applications that you're vibe coding, Remotion, right, is integrated with the AI Vercel SDK, which I already have on my website because I use it for the playground that I just showed you guys. So now I can put all that in there. I could even add that in the demo that I have now as a tool to just generate motion graphics like that, almost the equivalent to what that little starter platform is, not in terms of everything else it provides, but just it using Remotion to generate and do other things like that. All right. So, and to give context of why this is a long, I wanted to do a plan first, and then I'm gonna let it just do everything, right? So we're gonna do all one plan, and I'm not gonna type that. I want this all in one plan, and I want agents to work in parallel and build this together. All right, we want mm, I'm gonna just go as the docs I shared and then add an API endpoint plus a CLI tool. So look at that. It already knows integrated into the playground feature that I was talking about. But right now we're just gonna do that. any questions so far about this brainstorming? Because I'm brainstorming this off the top of my head right now with some of this new stuff I'm finding out. All right, I guess we're gonna let it roll. And something that's important. We talked about, maybe I haven't talked about branching, like when you're vibe coding or building, just working in general. So this is technically like a new feature on my website. Um, or let's just say it wasn't. Let's just say me adding this to the playground for other people to test this, right? When they come there, would be a new feature. So before I go straight into deploying that into production and stuff, this is on another branch, right, called Remotion. And then how I'm verifying this and seeing this Claude Code has settings. This is why my terminal is showing all this fancy stuff. And it will always show me whichever branch that I'm actively working on. So all of this Remotion stuff I'm doing is basically this whole giant feature that is on a different branch. I'm not going to mess with my website when I deploy this. Even when I do deploy it, it's not going to be in production. It's going to be in a preview site or a staging site. Just to kind of go over this plan just a little bit. I do like to read my plans. I know sometimes we don't. Remotion educational videos, right? The 3 videos that I said, fix the issues of text alignment, not fully displaying, choppy scene transition, new 2 capabilities, AI remotion composition code generation via the AI Vercel SDK, and then adding 11 lab speeds to transition with the AI SDK. This is just fixing a lot of stuff and making some files. This is telling me which agent is going to do one, two, three, four. So it's going to make 6 agents. I think that's cool because usually I just generate 4. Uh, let's see. Right. And then I do like this new little kind of like orange thing that pops up when like these things are working for the task and stuff like that. That's gonna, and then it's cool because it says like blocked, which means like obviously this task can't be worked on until this agent finishes that. And it's kind of like not highlighted and stuff. Just cool little things that I think are cool visually. So I think, is there anything else in terms of worth exploring? What's this chatbot one? That's actually what I wanted to look at. Oh, crawl chat. Okay, no, that's not what I wanted as an example. Oh, okay, Remotion actually has this on their own. I was like, why are you showing that? That doesn't make any sense. And then, yeah, Claude Code is very simple. Terminology, that's important. And this is kind of some of the other stuff I was talking about. Their editor started, kind of more detailed on what this is. I'm probably actually going to seriously buy this because that's a steal right there to kind of have a starter package like that for $600, I think it is. Um, that's a tool. And I think they've combined with just looking at some of this stuff here. Can extract thumbnails. It can. Very interesting. Very interesting. I don't get too sidetracked. So we got our agents running, and then we got this going on right here. Go back. Let's just really quick. Early right here. I think all of these are kind of like the same and just what it did with the otaku. And so it made me like a YouTube intro, a YouTube outro. It's kind of cool. And then going back to, I talk about like FFmpeg, right? So I can use FFmpeg to, well, I actually don't need to because this is using FFmpeg. I still feel, why did I say that though? I feel like I still could. What was that? What was I saying that for? Oh, if I want to add this to a video, I'm not sure if it would do that though. It probably would. I don't see why it wouldn't stitch together another video if I just put that in there. Maybe it needs to be converted or something like that. I'm not sure. But that's really cool. I didn't try this avatar one, but I don't think it'll work because I don't, yeah, see avatar placeholder. And then what is like something gonna happen around it or on the side of it? Oh yeah, nah, I gotta see that really quick. Nah, we're gonna work on two things at once here. I don't get it either because when I go to HeyGen, like I have 8 credits, and I don't know if this API thing that they put on it doesn't make sense, but I can't. They let me use 2 credits, and then they just were like, "Nah, you can't use it anymore." But nah, I gotta see that now. Looking at that, for some reason, when I try to generate a HeyGen video to test with the Remotion, it's not working, and I want to troubleshoot on this. That makes me upset. I think what I'll have to do, even though I'm not gonna like it at all, is download. Why was that video downloaded named captions when I put no captions for the video, even though those two things shouldn't have even mattered? Wow, named a caption. That's okay, whatever. It's weird. If we're still having problems, maybe we can use the video in my download folder called caption. But first, I want to test why the HeyGen thing isn't working. Or maybe I'm thinking about it wrong and you can let me know. Maybe we can just use the video that's in my downloads and that's supposed to be in the placeholder. That's doing this thing. This is doing this thing. Um, and these are like things that I don't even think I'm gonna see on the front end at all, to be honest. Okay. I do wanna let's see actually what's happening in the background. These are just the tasks, right? Yeah. Okay. It's saying everything that it's gonna do. And nope, and two left. Okay, let's come back here. That's done this thing. Yeah, I definitely wanna oh, wrong one. I wanna see that go back. I'm not gonna lie, that avatar placeholder it looked too clean. See, look, this is like a better one. This is just, but I don't like that it's gonna stay on that for that long, but obviously I can change that and then have this. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that avatar placeholder is interesting. Now I got this Zod mismatch again that I need to fix. Jesus. I'll worry about that one later. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Search for what you need. Topsy-turvy. 4 out of 5 agents done. That was actually really fast. I think that was literally like less than 5 minutes. So actually kind of ridiculous. All right, go ahead. Found that video. Just checking all that stuff. That should be an easy add. Gotta restart the server with that. All right, let's see. When you say generating a HeyGen video isn't working, hold on. I think I got an error with the API. I'm not sure. I am on a free account. I do have credits, but I'm not sure what the exact error is. I'm also saying that I'm not gonna finish that because I think in this next one it's asking me about that. Yes, this is an actual HeyGen video that I don't mind using if the previous process does not work. Maybe this can just get embedded in there. I'm not sure how that works. Uh, Fade out patterns. All right, so I guess it's double checking some stuff. Oh, also too, it actually finally closed out because sometimes this will still show here even though this is there. So I think it's about to compact this conversation. Juliening. What does that mean? I haven't heard that one before. All right. To all tasks complete. This for some reason is still Juliening, and I think like there's this bug where like when it finish a task, it just like keeps reading what that task was because that's why it's doing this little. And I'm just letting that run just to let you guys know that so you can see if you like what is going on with this. Then you just need to press escape. That just started happening, I think, on the newest update that they just gave though, because that did not happen before. So interrupted Claude. All right, so this says generate compositions with AI, transcribe audio files. It says the videos are fixed. I'll look at that in a minute, even though I doubt that, but it's still fine. I just want to see what this is doing now. It is returning an error. The user already has a working video. Copy the caption video. All right, so it's going to move this into here and then probably use that like I asked. So, okay. That means soon we'll just see this magically appear with an avatar, more than likely. Um, and yeah, I need to be more specific about exact seconds, like 9 seconds to 18 or 21. Yeah, so I would come back and say, make sure I'm in the right conversation. And just for the sake of it, I'm gonna clear this conversation. It's fine. I want to fix my education video, the first one in a folder. I can still see through about 9 seconds to 18 seconds, like the text is not centered or in the middle. It's kind of a bad UI UX for motion graphics. I'm not sure if it's trying to fade in, slide out from whichever angle, but it just doesn't really work. All right, so everything looks here. Copy the video, run preview, then set the avatar. I should see my avatar in there. Okay. Let's go back to avatar and I'm gonna get an error right here, which kind of probably makes sense because something went wrong right there, which is fine. Not worried about it. Gonna come back in here, copy and paste, bada bing, bada bang. Let it fix that. Yeah, it makes sense. It probably needs to transform that video or look at it somewhere because I think it just like tried to actually copy the file in there and just do something weird. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Yeah, that's checking that. Yeah, check that. So I'm not gonna lie, this HeyGen one with a Remotion, I'm getting some ideas. Proposal's looking a lot better right now in my mind for sure. I like
Just hang
that.
on a sec. Just hang on a sec.
All right, doing some stuff. Let it do that. See what's still going on here. Don't need to ask me any questions. Just reading the files. This is just searching through stuff. Just looking at my SDVs. And I think actually another trick that you could do, which would be cool, and I have to test this later. Going back on when I talk about like a lot of things that are built that you don't need to build. So like let's just say like icons for a minute in pictures, right? When they go on websites. Usually, I don't want to get like too technical. Usually they're like in an SVG format, right? So like take this as an example. This is an icon library that could be used like as F bleh, SVGs. I just said it. All right, you can download this, run a command. It's a CLI, pull all this stuff. Basically, the long story short of what I'm saying is, and this is actually not even the one I wanted to look at because the one I wanted to look at actually had logos as actual example. I thought that was for my it's hover, but maybe it's not. Let's see really quick. Maybe I can find it while I'm talking about it in a registry. Basically, what I'm saying is some of these registries that I've talked about before have SVG components that you could download and then combine that with Remotion to use. I'm just trying to think of what's a good one right now. Maybe if I just type in icons like a Bible pipeline. Mm, weren't you one of them? No, this is another animated one. Oh man, see, I gotta remember these by heart sometimes because every time I try to remember them, I cannot. No, this is not one either. Mhm. But it's like people have it. Like, let me do this. What am I looking for? Sad seeing component library logos. Jesus, that was terrible. That was not. Why would you do that? Um, Cloudflare. God damn it. Yeah, this will be the last one I'm gonna try to search. Okay, no, I'll hopefully find a better example next time. I don't know why I can't think of it off the top of my head, but that's fine. Okay, so it said it fixed that error that I wanted. That's here. Uh, but will it play? Oh, and do not mind the terrible voice that you're gonna hear through that video. That does not matter, and I have not finished fixing it. I'm just
no code operations work. Before we dive into our detailing to no codo operations, does this approach work? Are there examples? Hi there. Today I want to talk to you about does no code operations work. Before we dive into our detailing to no codo operations, does this approach work?
Let's see if it works.
Are there examples of Ramp? One of the
that doesn't add it there.
Detailing to no codo operations. Does this approach work? Hi there. Today I want to talk to you about does no code operation.
That's actually way better than I expected. So I see the initial problem is just like for some reason that this first off video needs to be only cut with what is being said here because it's using those 4 seconds and just like repeating over just to get context, figuring out really fast of why it's doing that, which makes sense. The video I downloaded was like only 4 seconds, just me testing from the prior session yesterday with HeyGen and playing around and doing some stuff. I haven't edited this video or done anything like that, but I am just curious in looking at if I did want to use HeyGen or if I did have a video that I wanted to put along with these motion graphics, what would be the process of doing that? So each part of that would have to be cut with a tool like FFmpeg. Going back to that, that's why I was saying that if Remotion doesn't have the ability to cut that video that's inside of there, which I'm actually about to literally say all of this when I'm saying the Claude code, but just showing you guys how I would troubleshoot that as well and look at that. I don't really care about the voice or anything like that. I can fix it. I'm just figuring out if I were to add videos here, if I wanted to, or even if a client wanted me to, what would be that process already kind of setting up that kind of everything that needs to be there. So this is great. I can see that the video is playing, but one thing I noticed, it doesn't seem like actually, you know what? I can't even say that because it doesn't matter how that specific video is cut. It's not going to match anything that's being said right here. So I actually don't need to focus on that anymore. It's just good that that's been identified. But what I do want to see is, okay, that's great. That video is working and playing as expected. I am curious about for the first video or another video, you can choose using 11 labs to generate a voice or whatever to also put with that video as well. If you don't understand what I'm trying to explain, feel free to ask me any questions. Yeah, I'm actually really happy about that actually because that's way simpler and it's easy to make something to chop up those videos to have that right there. So at the end, when you give it to Remotion, it's already, man, that's actually really fire. The HeyGen uses the avatar speaking. I'm talking about an entirely different um, motion design. It doesn't have to be the one with HeyGen. I just want to try to generate something with 11 labs. And I'm not even going to answer that because, oh my God, you don't answer one question. They made it to now when you, it declines all the questions. So it's not about replacing the HeyGen video. I just want to use another video and we're going to use 11 labs to generate text to go along with that motion graphic. And this was done right. I wasn't doing it. Oh, doing anything in the last one. Yeah, that was what you call it. Wait, what was that? Oh, this was actually from the first conversation of this right here not being fixed. Still not fixed. Maybe I should just say consult, educate, and build, and then it would actually get it. I think me maybe saying the numbers wasn't doing that. I think maybe me saying the numbers kind of confused you. The educate, consult, and build are not properly in the middle. They're like high at the top, not aligned properly. Do I have an 11 Labs API key? I do not, but I'm curious. I have my Vercel AI SDK API key. If I can't use 11 Labs, which one can I use to generate anything? Let's see. I was gonna say I don't think they'll let people get away with that. I think you probably still have to put your 11 Labs key in, but just to you never know. Because also, if I come back to here, I don't even see. Maybe they're here. Yeah, I don't even see them right here to bring in my own provider. So how would I even do both of those? That wouldn't even make sense. What the hell? Oh, the project already has a sleep. I was like, what does that say? That generates narration for you already have okay, it's doing that automatically. Okay, so it's gonna use OpenAI, which is once again, the whole point is not to use like the best of the best. Of course, we can change these out and use anything, but just to use something to generate something to create a workflow for later that we can just keep reusing and recycle. So this should be a short plan. Let's see. Scene one, welcome. We trained over da 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 da. Okay, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Okay, it said that this was fixed. Uh-oh, wrong one. Sorry. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I that kind of makes sense for me. Before the previous two requests, I think for just off the bat of like technology is magic or AI is magic, it should have known to fix that and censor that, especially if everything else was. But then me saying like, oh, 19 seconds to 15 seconds, even though that should have been like everything that's here in this little slot should be put in the middle. It didn't. I guess me just actually saying those things made it work a little better. And then I would go back and I would say, this is great. This is not working. But I also noticed at the end when it says otakusolutions.io and has the logos underneath, they are way too close together and not properly spaced out either. Which is, yeah, bleh. Okay. Fix that. It's gonna run on a loop. This is doing this. So I'm assuming that when it makes this script and run this script, it's gonna add this audio there, just like it did with the HeyGen video being in the background of the other one. Which once again, it's even if it wasn't a HeyGen video, any other video could just be put in there and put next. I think what I'm gonna do later on with some stuff that I'm building, because I've seen some good examples of this is what people are using for their product software demos, having Remotion go inside of their app and create product demos and stuff like that. Uh, which, yeah, it like really opens up the door to do a lot of things. So it's done. It says, let's generate the narration files. So it's actually doing that already, and then it's going to save it. All right, this said that it was done. No, I don't think it said that. Maybe I was just, or maybe it did, and then it still got it wrong. Mm, I wanna, mm, just, I don't get why it says disabled. Okay. This thing makes it too stressful to try to figure out why it doesn't work sometimes. I really think it's just still a bug. Can you use Claude in Chrome to look at the page? And if this doesn't work, I'm expecting it not to. I'm just curious to see if it updated. Yeah, it's gonna keep doing that. Yeah, so that's fine. I just want to continue to verify that the request I just made, nothing changed at all. When it gets to the end of the video and it shows otakusolutions.io with N8N, Superbase, Monstra, and everything underneath, they are overlapping. It's not good at all. Right, so this is here, and then, God damn it. This still did what I did not ask it to do, which was remove this avatar
Stories.
presentation one,
Ramp. One of
Numbers speak for themselves.
which I didn't ask. But okay, it's doing it.
40% cost savings across 25 industries.
So let's, this is what I should have said for the last one. That's great. Even though that isn't what I asked for, can we do that for the brand intro? And that voice was, golly, terrible. Who was that talking? It was a open AI voice too, so I don't use that. It already has narration scripts. Okay. Now, of course, I think, oh, that's funny. It just automatically started
Build production.
playing when I was there. I was gonna say one thing that I do think makes this way better is doing this one by one. Before when I was doing this, and I wouldn't even mind starting over, even though I think this is good, but just making sure you do each scene one by one. I'd probably spend like at least 10 hours doing that before I went into fully like generate something 100% all the way through.
educating, consulting, and building the future of AI. We've trained over 500 students in cutting-edge AI skills. Our consulting has driven 84% average improvement for clients. And we build production-ready solutions in under 4 weeks.
I mean,
Visit
I'm
otakusolutions.io.
not really expecting much, and that wasn't really bad besides like what I know that I can need to actually fix looking at this. I don't know if that makes sense. Besides this happening at the end,
Get
which can
started.
definitely be fixed, that's not like a bad thing. Besides picking a voice that
otakusolutions.io.
I actually like, which I for sure have not done yet. For many different reasons. The voices that I had in HeyGen don't exist anymore, so those are gone. And then I just need to probably go clone some stuff or go look at new things that are there because they change all the time. Not really hard. And then in terms of like just actually making sure this pops up and speaks for as long as I want it to, like that will be no problem either. Overall, like I'm very happy about everything, and I'm kind of even happier I know what to fix opposed to like it's giving me problems and I'm not really sure how to understand to solve that. And I don't even think it's like a Remotion giving me problems, more so just creating an actual prompt or adding on to the skills and system prompt that they gave us to create what I want more. Because it even made the logos actually better and more visible, but this is still here. And of course, that's just a matter of talking to Claude Code or having some things set up. Yeah. Any questions or anything? I think that's kind of, I don't want to say that's all I have for today, but I think that was kind of like a good overall, just going into it, using a website as a demo. Good to see they have like all those other, definitely going to be looking at this right here. Um, Can you create me an animation of a business fulfilling a order for e-commerce? I don't even know if this actually will work or if it's just a demo for the. I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't work. It probably doesn't because it wouldn't be taking this long to think, but I'm not sure. I'm just super curious. Oh, no, wait. I saw a system there. Mhm. Nah, I don't think so. Let me be more tech. Nope, nope. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is not gonna. Yeah, of course. I'm pretty sure this is not connected to anything, which makes sense. But that is really cool. Um, and this is how simple it is to even start playing with this, right? So I can take this right here, copy this, put this in here. I want you to clone this project in my code folder and name it properly. No, that's not what I meant. How did I copy this? Oh, it didn't even it decided to take the last thing that I put and do that. It's so weird. Oh, I accidentally did paste too fast. Uh Look at this. What am I saying? Look at this for what the heck? Clone this in my code folder and name it properly. That's a super long name. I'll just change it again later if it doesn't make something that I like. So it'll do that. And okay, it's gonna call it prompt to motion. Sweet. All right, so we have prompt to motion. I can literally open up another Visual Studio Code, open a folder, go to code, scroll down to the piece. Prompt to motion. We have all that stuff here. Open up a new Claude session. Close that. Disable all my MCPs. And then do a simple slash init. So when I come back in here later, Claude Code will know all about this platform. I'll be able to spin it up locally and do what I need to do. And maybe I'll use that like as a little demo or find, well, to be honest, I'm going to find some people that do motion graphics and then I'm probably going to pitch that as like a tool to use for them and make some connections and do some stuff. That's what I would actually really do. Um, but yeah, any questions so far? I think that's all I had today. Any ideas, Jeff?
Not on this one. I gotta catch up from the FFmpeg one, HeyGen one.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
I just
You have
decided to tune out this weekend.
you have the link to the YouTube channel or no?
Yeah, probably. I think you.
Oh, okay.
I
If you don't,
just
just send me a message on WhatsApp and I'll send it to you.
yeah. I gotta get caught up a little bit, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no problem, Adam. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, at the job. J Moo, no questions, Juice? No questions about Remotion or any ideas or anything like that? No, I'm assuming you guys are probably gonna tap in the chat so you guys don't gotta come off the mic. But yeah, I'm gonna play around a little bit more. I think I need to I'm gonna make some more videos and have them already cut, which obviously FFmpeg would do all that. I'm gonna ask this later if it can do those cuts and everything, but if it can't, then I would just use FFmpeg or something to do that and already have it ready. And then I could see that being there for a lot of the like pairing that with my HeyGen content or like my avatar to do stuff would be fire. I could see that. I could see that in proposals and some other stuff too.
You gotta change your HeyGen video though.
Oh yeah, I
Cause
gotta
it, cause it's like all centered and perfect and you're never that way.
that's what happens when you have that. So I was saying when you watch the HeyGen video that that specific avatar, and I don't know if you heard me say it, like last week HeyGen had an event, like a live event where they had their team actually sit you down and you just do a prompt, and that's what that's actually from. And they actually have
Yeah.
another one on the 28th that I'm gonna go be a part of that they're doing the same thing. So I'll have another one there too, like in a whole little perfect attire and a different outfit and stuff. But this week I'm gonna go in there and fix some stuff because like I was saying when I was going in there yesterday to do some things, I was having some problems and or some things weren't there that I used to have. And I think it's just because one, mainly I don't work in my HeyGen account. Usually I'm using like a client's HeyGen account, but two, when it comes to the voices that are like in these platforms because of like laws and other stuff, they take away these voices and stuff like that. So I think a lot of the stuff that I had in there is like not in there anymore, and I have to go back and I got to clone my. I didn't do it yesterday, but I got to clone my voice and do stuff because I couldn't put any videos in because all the videos I have are not me talk. I thought about it. I was like, I don't have any videos where I'm just talking by myself. It's like somebody else in there, so I can't put it in there to like train it on my voice at that moment in time and I don't want to take like 2 minutes or more to do that. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go back in there this week and then clone my voice again and do some stuff and clean it up and put some more stuff out. But yeah, it was straightforward and simple. But nah, that was a good one. Remotion is pretty straightforward and simple. I like that one. I think that was gonna be one of my favorite ones throughout the year actually, because motion graphics itself, doing all that kind of design is fire. And then when you do end up adding like putting a voice behind it or something like that, even if it wasn't an avatar, but just like cool little product demos, fully going out, you know, cool little voice talking, I think is cool. Yeah, I appreciate you guys for showing up. I think tomorrow's Vappy, huh? That one's gonna be interesting. Yeah. the rest of this week.
All right, dude. I got a blast. Wagner's bouncing at the door. She wants to go for. She's a clock. 3 o'clock's like her walk time, so she's starting to bounce downstairs.
Oh yeah. She started. Yeah, my dogs are actually. I hear them outside. I need to go feed them right now after this too. I
All
forgot
right,
to
dude.
feed them
Thanks,
before
man.
the thing. I'll see you guys later. Everybody
See you
have a good
tomorrow.
one.